Most of the time, it is hard to imagine that these are children with serious medical conditions. No one, not even many of the kids themselves, thought they could ever experience extreme sports or activities common to kids who don't have an illness, disease, or disability.
A lot of these kids have never had a best friend, have not really spent time in a room with multiple people like this, have not been a part of something. They've been to the side of something.
Their clinical medical world doesn't offer these types of challenges.
Pretty place, a bunch of pretty buildings and stuff, but it never comes alive till a kid step on it. And then all of a sudden, all that stuff just blends together. It's not buildings anymore, it's a camp, and the kids just put everything together for us.
Ever since, children with serious medical conditions and chronic illnesses have come here for summer camp weeks where they join other children dealing with a similar diagnosis, never at any cost to the child or their family. Every activity is designed by our trained staff and medical team so they are always safe and appropriate without going easy on the exhilaration and fun.
For us, this is a place that needs to be here 50 years from now, 100 years from now. We are never going to run out of kids that can benefit from Victory Junction. That's how simple it is.
The Victory Junction experience is free to all the kids who come through our gates, but we need financial support each day to continue our incredible mission and to reach more children. Join us and provide those best week of their life moments.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Miami Homestead Speedway. Tonight's race is brought to us by the Victory Junction Gang Camp. Here for the Victory Junction 150, it is championship night for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series. My name is Roger Muth. I'll be your host up here tonight in the virtual Turn 3 Racing studio booth. Alongside me is my good friend Al Smith. Al, we are here, finally, the final race of the season. All the chips are on the table, and 4 drivers are looking to collect them all.
Yeah, 4 drivers come in here tonight with one goal in mind, that is to beat each other. Driver that finishes highest will become the season champion for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series, and it will not be an easy feat. Right now, your top 3 in practice, well, those are 3 drivers that are vying for that championship. The lone driver that's outside the top 10 is the Ford of Tim Blum. But Roger, it's going to come down to tonight. This is a very fast mile speedway. Progressive banking, we'll see them all the way down at the white line. We'll see them all the way to the high side, but it'll be a very entertaining race here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway.
As we bring you into our virtual studios here, my name is Roger Muth. Like I said, that is Al Smith on that side of the screen over there on our upstate New York studio. Al, we have talked about this season so far leading up to this point and all the drivers that are involved in the championship hunt. Drivers who have won this season include the names of Sean Butler, Max Terriel, James Skelton, James Hayter, Tim Blum, Richard Murdoch, and the rookie of Zach Mitchell, DJ Anderson, also winning himself a race. So multiple drivers have won on multiple different tracks. This track here tonight is very tricky, though. That low line here at the early stages will be the place to be. You're going to see the groove and then move up throughout the night.
Yeah, you're going to see as the rubber gets laid down, tires are going to get worn out here on this Homestead Miami Speedway. And this track doesn't drive like any other track that we go on throughout the season. It has some characteristics like in Atlanta, which we saw 2 weeks ago in the Xfinity car that they were on. The track is very abrasive to the tires. It'll wear them out. You can push too hard, but you're going to pay the price at the end of that long run. And we'll find out and see. As we know, we can go a lot of green flag laps here with the Red Light Scrambler series.
Well, as we get ready to go racing here tonight in the Victory Junction 150, we have a special guest up here in the booth with us for the time being. It is the driver of the number 43 of Joe Strano. Joe, welcome to the booth, and a little bit special here for you. I know we're running a little bit shorter on time, but Joe, we got to thank you for everything you did behind the scenes leading up to this big event here. You were the guy who reached out to Victory Junction. We have to thank you for that.
Thanks for having me up in the booth, and I'm just super excited to have him on board and have him here tonight. This is pretty awesome opportunity here.
Yeah, a very awesome opportunity for the Victory Junction gang and the Red Light Racing Series. Joe, how did this whole deal come about, getting in contact with Victory Junction? Where did the love and the following that you have for the Victory Junction?
Well, I'm a big fan of Richard Petty Motorsports. I follow them in the NASCAR Cup Series, and when the Worldwide Technologies partnership came on board and they brought Victory Junction to be on the car, it really opened my eyes to them, and then I started following them, and then my mom, my brother, and I became regular donors. And my brother and I were talking a couple months ago and said, hey, let's reach out to Victory Junction. Let's see if we can get something going. And I emailed, and Chad Coltrane, the president and CEO, reached out to me directly, and that kicked it off.
Well, it's an absolute amazing group over there at the Victory Junction. And Joe, we not only got to thank them, we got to thank you majorly. We have a huge list over here we're going to get to of guys who donated, but I can tell you that your fundraiser that was put on here between yourself, Victory Junction, and Red Light Racing has surpassed its goal. Our goal was, I believe, 500. We currently have in donations $755. So job well done, my friend, and congratulations on reaching that goal.
Thank you very much, and like I said, I'm just looking forward to the event and hoping to raise some more money during the race. Donations are still open, so let's get at it.
Well, there you heard it from the driver of the number 43 of Joe Strano. We got to thank him and everybody over at Victory Junction for coming on board. Like Joe did just say, though, race fans, the donation button is still open. The fundraiser, it is down in the description of the video, whether you're watching via YouTube tonight over on our Turn 3 Racing Network YouTube or over on Facebook Live. We welcome you from wherever you are watching here tonight to watch the simulated race here tonight presented by the Victory Junction. It is championship night for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series right here from the virtual Miami Homestead Speedway. Al, 4 drivers, we talked about them earlier: James Skelton, Max Terriel, Tim Blum, and James Heater. You can't count any of them as underdogs here tonight. All those drivers, multiple wins through the season. Just remember, just one season ago, Tim Blum went on a streak of what would have been 5 in a row.
Yeah, right now the driver that comes in, probably the hottest, maybe the favorite here tonight, is the Storm from the North. That's Max Terriel. Came in, he won 4 races in a row before last week in Atlanta, or 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, and just came up a little bit shy there. So I believe he's going to be the one to keep an eye on so far here tonight. But any 4 of those drivers, kind of shake them up, put them in a hat, and you pull the name out of there, and that could be your champion at the end of 100 laps here tonight for the Victory Junction Gang 150.
Well, race fans, pre-race is just about wrapped up. We have to go down onto the track to get our ceremonies done here, and as we do, don't go anywhere. You're going to want to see the racing action here tonight for championship night, presented by Victory Junction.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north Lord so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Miami Homestead Speedway, or the Homestead Miami Speedway, whatever way race fans you would prefer to call it. Tonight is championship night. The national anthems have been sung, qualifying is over, and 26 drivers have registered here tonight at Homestead Miami. Tonight, championship night, 4 drivers are trying for that championship. Let's find out what the starting lineup is going to be right here tonight, and then find out who will be able to knock it out of the park tonight. This is your Green Forest Tree Supply starting lineup. The springtime is coming, race fans, and you need to head on over to the Green Forest Tree Supply. Get your trees, get your shrubs, get the bushes all around your house, all decorated up nicely. Head on over to Green Forest Tree Supply today. And of course, starting on the front row tonight for championship night for the Victory Junction starting lineup is going to be the driver out of Ohio. It's the 88 of Sean Butler. Starting to his outside, one of the championship hopefuls, the number 10 of Tim Blum. Starting in position number 3, out of Canada, driving the number 42, it is Max Terriol. Starting 4th here tonight, driving the low line racing, number 18, this is James Heater. Starting in the 5th position, driving the number 94, the Prime Time Racing, Corey Silva. Starting in the 6th position, it's the Green Forest Resupply, number 43, Victory Junction sponsored entry of Joe Strano. Starting 7th tonight, the Full Throttle Racer. Out of Michigan, it's the 98 of Ryan O'Donnell. 8th position going to the other championship driver that's in the chase. It's the 86 of James Skelton. Richard Murdoch will roll off into the 9th position. 10th here tonight will be Jason Wells.
Starting on the inside of row number 6, it's the Simbox Motorsports, number 71. That's Nate Maurer. To his outside, the 914 of Sean Single. Starting on the next row in row number 8. Number 7, if I can count. Michael Trevarthen in the Metalhead Motorsports, number 31. To his outside, the Full Throttle Racing entry. This is Brandon Minto. Brandon Minto in car number 20. Starting on the inside of row number 8 will be the 51 as DJ Anderson. To the outside of him, the Need for Speed Motorsports entry, the number 2 of Josh Buckley. 17th will go to the 924 season winner here this season. The 924, that's Zach Mitchell. To his outside, Christopher Rothrock in car number 84. Rounding out the top 20 starting spots will be the 62 of Ethan Troutman and the Eco Hawk Motorsports starting 19th. And his outside, the 977, the Simbox Motorsports entry of Doug Neal.
Donald Bennett, Tim Combs, Tony Strano, Kevin O'Brien, Rob Higgins, and Kyle Souza will round out the field as we are getting ready to go racing here. Championship night presented by Victory Junction, gang, as the green flag is pending. The green flag is in the air, and we are racing here tonight at Homestead.
Butler and Blum will go side by side down the turn number 1. Butler trying to place Wheeler. He knows he's got some championship contenders behind him, but he wants to lead lap number 1. Sterio's going to take a bit to the inside. Blum's going to tuck down below them. We're going to see a lot of drafting coming into play here tonight in the Victory Junction Gang 150.
As it looks like here comes the 42 of Max Terriel. He'll slide job here over the 88 of Sean Butler. Coming out on turn 4 to lead lap number 1. It will be the Storm from the north. The 42 of Max Terriel will go to the point here tonight. But here comes the Ohio driver, the Gen X, the Trust Me Vodka entry of Sean Butler. He'll go back to the point, and now here comes the Classics Hot Sauce, number 10 of Tim Blum as they come down the back straightaway. Those two drivers there running second and third. They are two of the championship drivers. Fourth, actually fifth now, would be James Heater. He is the other championship hopeful. And then all the way back here into the 7th position, that is James Skelton. You see him to the inside right now on the 43 of Joe Strano here as we complete lap number 2. It is Sean Butler still out front leading this.
Butler has a 0.2 of a second gap over Blum and the 42 of Max Terriel. That time pushes up the racetrack. Almost contact with the outside wall, but none there. No damage to that number 42 yet as they chase the 88 down in the turn number 3. Side-by-side battle back there for your 4th spot. The 18 of Peter working the outside of the speedway. He had Silva to the inside, car 94, and now Silva will reside back into the 5th spot. Ryan O'Danny 6th, Joe Strano 7th, and Skelton falling back to your 8th spot. As you see on the timing and scoring, your championship 4 are highlighted in blue. That's where you're going to see who is there. The race ending right now, Roger. Tim Blum would be hoisting the championship trophy.
Yeah, the driver out of Florida would like to find himself in the virtual victory lane here tonight. We will find out, though, who will be able to hoist the championship trophy after this one. Everybody's starting to go single file inside the top 10. You got to go back here to about the 14th position to find a side-by-side battle. It's the young man, the 914, the rookie of Sean Single. He's back here running into the 14th position currently. He's looking to the inside of that number 64 of Jason Wells. Wells, one of the drivers that this year has had so much speed throughout every event that he has entered on Monday night. Unfortunately, has not been able to finish off races. Could tonight be the night? He's got a long way to go. Still have 95 laps of racing as there's a pass for the race lead down into turn number 1. Here comes the Florida native. Tim Blum will now lead the race off of turn number 2.
Yeah, Blum had a nice draft down the front stretch. They're able to carve underneath the number 88 of Butler. And now he has the race lead, but Butler closing right there on this downforce package. You'll see a lot of racing side by side and nose to tail, a lot of runs. How desperate do you get when you have to start making those blocks towards the end of this one? Will end up your championship fate? Could it be in someone else's hands if they don't want to give you that break?
Well, you never know what will happen out here as we go on board looking back off the number 10 of Tim Blum here tonight. You see the 88. You look at a driver a little bit farther back, actually trying to make his way through the field. That is the 43 of Joe Strano. Right now, Strano is running back here into the 7th position. He's down on the bottom side trying to get around Skelton. Him and Skelton have been kind of passing it back and forth right now for the 7th, the 8th, the 7th, the 8th position. You see Ryan O'Donnell. He's got around him. Here comes the Simbox driver, the 71. That is Nate Maurer, the driver out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Behind him, that is Richard Murdoch in the Adventure in Pixels. And look at Murdoch. He'll swing to the inside down the back straightaway as they enter turn 3. It'll be heads-up racing by the two Chevrolet drivers. There you see the Adventure in Pixels 01. That's Richard Murdoch. The high side, the 71 Simbox entry, Nathan Maurer. The high lane momentum will roar out of turn number 4. It'll be the 71 of Nathan Maurer leading them back across the start-finish line there. That's the battle for the 9th and 10th position. It's still going to be Murdoch going to the bottom side. Maurer still going to run about the middle groove.
Yeah, right in front of that 86 of Skelton. Now looking to the inside of the 98 O'Danny. This is the position battle for your 6th position. As now Skelton trying to make it work underneath that Exploria number 98 of O'Danny. Skelton with the preferred line up off the corner. He'll pull to the door panel. You see how they kind of separate there. Trying now those side draft down the front stretch, trying to break the momentum. Joe Strano trying to figure out which lane is going to go. He's got Nate Maurer right in his trunk lid.
Yeah, look at Maurer really close up. Here is Corey Silva, also the driver of Prime Time Racing Stables 94. Corey Silva will look to the inside. He will try and take a bid on the 4th position, which right now is being held by James Heater, one of the championship drivers. You see on the left-hand side of your screen, all the drivers in blue right now. It is Blum. Chariot, Heater, Skelton, your championship 4. They are all inside that top 6. But right now, they are all still chasing the Classics Hot Sauce number 10, Florida driver of Tim Blum. Wow, Al, it feels like just yesterday Blum was able to go on that streak last season. We talked about it in pre-race when he was able to go on that huge string. And if you would even count in that Talladega race where he got the win taken away from passing below the yellow line, it could have been 6 wins in a row for this driver. If he could have repeated that this season here right now, just start it right now, he'd find himself hosting the trophy here.
He does. He's got the 42 of Max there, the thrifty veteran. We see Max week in and week out here on Monday nights and also on Thursday nights, doing what he does best. Now get around Butler. Now he'll set his sights on the race leader of Blum. Working lap number 12, they race down the back stretch here at the Homestead Miami Speedway, but business is starting to pick up as Theriot moves to number 2 spot. Butler to back to 3rd, and Heaters right there in 4th, but he is still under fire by Corey Silva. Silva with a peek to the inside off turn number 4.
Brand new colors on that 94 here this weekend with his Chevy Camaro ZL1. Silva running back there in the 5th position. It's where he qualified. It's where he's running right now. The biggest mover and shaker of the race. That is the driver. That's 71. We talked about him a couple times. He now gets around the 43 of Joe Strano, so that will move Nate Maurer now into the 7th position, up 4 spots from where he started tonight. One driver that is slipping and headed into the wrong direction. It's the Alienware, number 64. We talked about him. Wells currently running back into the 15th spot, qualified 10th, and he has fallen through the field here tonight. A driver, though, that has not been able to find the grip on the machine. It's the 62, the Office Depot entry of Ethan Troutman. Troutman, one of those drivers who was in the championship hunt, was knocked out in the round of 8. He finds himself back here running into, now it looks like it's the 20th position. He said in practice that there's just no speed out here. He can't find it. The group did not bring the car here to Homestead that will be competing for a win.
Now we just had him 3 wide, battling up here for your 11th position with a 51 of DJ Anderson. He was 3 wide on the bottom. He had Trevarthen in the 31 as well.
One of them down out of the groove on the front straightaway. Joshua Buckley will go down onto the grass with his drafttop.com number 2. Buckley all sorts of out of shape, and there does look to be damage on the Ford Mustang on that right front. The green flag stays out here, but there is definitely some damage to that Ford Mustang.
Yeah, taking a look, I caught just the back part of that, Roger, and it looked like he made contact with the outside wall and then got into the right side of the 84 of Rothrock. So some damage on that automobile, and Buckley now finds himself back in the 23rd position. Tough going, heavy right side damage, tough front damage. I think it's going to hurt the performance of that draft top number 2.
That's not what you want to see here in the first stages of this race, but we'll see if Buckley, it looks like left side and right side nose damage to this Ford Mustang, so we'll see if Buckley can rebound and get back up to the front. But as that all happened, there was also a pass for the race lead. The 42 of Max Theriot now will take over the race lead. He will go ahead and take the lead now. Tim Blum is 2nd, Sean Butler is 3rd, James Heater is 4th. You see the gap between Butler and Heater right there. Let's see if we can go to a little bit of an overhead camera shot to show you what the view looks like here. There it is, your front 3 and then 4th. 5th right there, nose to tail. Then James Skelton also about 3-4 car lengths back behind Corey Silva here on lap number 17. We'll see if those drivers can all work together, because the Cup car, 550 horsepower, lots of downforce. These cars punch a huge, huge hole in the air.
Yeah, right now you see Silva trying to work to the outside of that 18 of Heater up off of turn number 2, but you see the draft working. That is how Max there got the race lead. He got to the inside left rear quarter panel and side drafted the 10 of Blum down the backstretch and was able to just break the momentum, pull him backwards. And a 42 was able to take the race lead as he is now in front there. Is now Skelton going to work underneath the number 94 of Silva. So Silva going to fall back to your 6th position as they battle for the top 5.
Silva goes high, wide, and handsome down here in corner number 1 and 2, and that'll put him behind the Carolina Elite Realtree, number 86 of James Skelton. Skelton now inserting himself into the top 5 for the first time here tonight. This driver here out of Carolina put in a lot of track time this week. I was talking to his team. They were out here for the last 6 hours virtually here at the Homestead Miami Speedway practicing just for this event. They wanted to have a strategy. How many laps can we go on fuel? How much of the tire wear if we push it too soon? Will it be? Well, we're 20 laps in, and the car looks like it is starting to come to life here as he got around Corey Silva. Now he has to hunt down James Heater as Tim Blum is getting passed for the second position. There goes Sean Butler to the inside. Butler now will insert himself in the middle of this championship hunt as he almost comes out of turn 4. The car got a little tight there. Now turn 4, a very, very tricky spot.
Yeah, very tricky spot there. You want to get back on the gas as soon as you can, especially with this high downforce, low horsepower package that they have on the Cup cars here in the Army Custom Rig Scrambler Series. Is now Blum. He was up front, led laps early, finds himself back to the 3rd spot as Max Terrio has about a 4-car length advantage over that 88 of Butler. But I think the key there is you see the 18 of Heater starting to roll in on this group as well. A lot of track time, as you just heard from Roger saying Skelton and the team put a lot of time in here. Skelton did not have one of the best qualifying runs, but he's showing a lot of speed right now and is one of the fastest cars on the racetrack at the moment.
Yeah, you see everybody has started to single file themselves out. You got to go way deep back into the field here. Ryan O'Donnell currently running into the 14th position. He's got Troutman right there. He's got Souza and Wells. A lot of drivers back here who have a lot of speed this season just seem to find themselves a little bit buried and baffled by this very tricky speedway here tonight. Ryan very tight that time out of turn number 4. Troutman, you saw him dive the number 62 to the left-hand side. He thought that Ryan was going to get the outside wall. He was able to hang on to it and keep the car pointed into the right direction currently. That could have been big and catastrophic for a lot of those drivers right there.
It definitely could have been. They're still side by side. Souza working to the inside. And that number 4 as they head down in the turns 3 and 4. Troutman was early before the green flag dropped, asking for a crash course on how to get around here. Well, I would say he's doing pretty good. He's up 5 positions from where he started in the 19th position and still headed forward. Next car in front of him was the 914 of Sean Single as they work around the speedway, but Max Stereo still showing the way at the front of this one as we almost are at the quarter mark of this 100 lap race here for the Victory Junction Gang 150.
So as everybody continues to file in here, we do believe that we should be getting some green flag pit stops pretty soon. Estimates of about 29 laps tonight on fuel. As you see the gap between first and second, Max Terriot is doing what the wily veteran has to do. He started to pull away from this group. Sean Butler, Tim Blum still run nose to tail here at the front of the field as they got James Heater now right there, and Skelton's coming also. He's also pulling along as it looks like green flag pit cycle will start right now. Al, we were guessing a little bit as though hard onto the brakes there for the driver of the 42.
Yeah, it was a little bit out of shape coming down the pit road. The 42 of Max is going to relinquish the race lead as he'll pit on lap 25. As he comes down pit road, he'll make the hard left-hand turn into his box, hits his marks perfect, through around to the right side of that Maxime number 42. 5 lug nuts off, 5 lug nuts on. They're on to the left side. Sunoco fuel tank number 2 going in. Down and away, it'll be Max Stereo in a very quick pit stop here on pit road for that driver. He comes off pit road, so very, very quick pit stop for the 42 crew.
Everybody down on pit road, just about 6, looks like 6 cars still left out onto the Speedway 7 here. As you see the 88 of Butler and the 10 of Tim Blum, they will hit their pit stalls as that will turn the race lead currently over to DJ Anderson in this Toyota. He has yet to come to pit road along with Kyle Souza, Ethan Troutman, Wells, Mitchell O'Brien, and Rob Higgins. So all those drivers are still out there, and it doesn't look like any of them are coming to pit road just yet. couple of those race leaders wanted to get to pit road. They wanted to get their stops done as soon as they could. As that all cycles through, it looks like that will be the 42, as here comes Rob Higgins. He'll bring the checkered flag auto supply number 941. He'll bring it to pit road here tonight. He'll be the 7th place car when he comes to pit road. We'll see where he cycles back through. But DJ Anderson still out there circling the speedway as the race leader. Will he bring the pedigree Camry to pit road this time? He will not. He will stick to the throttle down, and he will keep on going as the 88 of Sean Butler going to try to unlap himself. Butler, one of those drivers that when you tune in on Monday night here to the Scrambler Series, you're really used to seeing him in the championship for. Well, this season with family health problems and other things outside of the sim community kind of took him away, distracted him a little bit. He did pick up 2 wins throughout the season, just unfortunately was left with a pit road penalty last week at Atlanta, or 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, which kept him out of this championship hunt. So there will not be a 8-time championship this season. Sean Butler will have to wait for the 2021 season to see if he can park the 88 back into just victory lane, but back into the championship hunt.
And right now, as they cycle around, we're going to see 2 seconds a lap difference in the lap time. So Anderson giving up a lot of time out here in the front of this one in that pedigree 51. Also having some electrical issues, it looks like, as he still stays out on the racetrack, not coming to pit road yet. You see everybody going by him. They're all on fresher tires. Still a 5-6 second lead over second place Wells, as well as still staying out, as well as Souza comes down pit road.
So he comes to pit road. Wells stays out in the Alienware machine. Anderson stays out. So it'll just be 2 drivers that we are waiting to come to pit road. There's the distance. There you see who will take over the race lead. It'll be the 42 of Max Terriel. And then it is Heater back here in the low line racing 18. Skelton's back here, and then a little bit farther back. They're kind of all equally spaced right now, all those championship drivers. There you see Tim Blum. He's currently running 7th. He should cycle up through, as it does look like the man DJ Anderson will come to pit road on the number 51. That will leave just one playing the long run here tonight, Al. And he can't quite make it to the halfway point. He's on lap 32 here. He's got to be running out of fuel here any moment.
Yeah, he's got to be getting low on, I would say, this time or maybe next time by, depending on how much he was able to save back there in the draft, as he was running inside the top 15 when green flag pit stop started. Looks like now he'll get on the brakes and head down pit road. So Jason Wells coming down pit road this time by. It'll give Max Stereo a 1 second lead over James Heater as they work off turn number 4.
As they work off of 4 here to come to complete lap number 32, it will be Max Terriel, your championship, one of your championship 4 drivers taking the race lead. It'll be James Heater then, just sitting about a 1.5 seconds back there in the low line 18. And another second back, you find James Skelton. Then it's Sean Butler rounding out the top 5 after your green flag pit cycle will be the Classics Hot Sauce number 10 of Tim Blum. Corey Silva, the Primetime Racers, running in the 6th position. Old Richard Murdoch back here, the AC 130 guy, or the Hercules machine, I should say. Old Hercules himself is in 7th, but he's got Joe Strano breathing down his neck in the Green Forest Tree Supply Victory Junction number 43. He's currently running into the 8th position. Just back here in 9th is Brandon Minto. He's got a mirror full, though, of 2 very hungry drivers. Nathan Maurer, along with the number 31, that is Michael Trevarthen currently. That's just sitting just outside the top 10, but he's right there battling. He could be inside the top 10, and just a little slip by either one of these drivers that are out in front of him.
Yeah, and right now down the backstretch, they are running nose to tail. So trying to find a way around at number 20. And Joe Strano now will take a peek to the inside of the 01 of Murdoch. Murdoch up running that higher groove with the momentum, but here comes the 43 of Strano. Strano trying to make the move to the inside underneath the 01 of Murdoch. Couldn't quite do it. He'll tuck back in line with his green Forest Tree Supply entry 43. Minto, Power, and Trevarthen trying to close them down is Max Stereo with a 1.2 second lead over James Heater in the front of this one. But all eyes are back here for this battle on your 8th and 9th position as the Minto Miller Lite machine trying to catch up to those 2 drivers of Murdoch and the 43 of Strano as they battle through turns 1 and 2.
Right now, Minto's holding off the Mauer and Trevarthen entry back here for the 9th, 10th, and 11th position, but just out in front of them, Joe Strano is trying to run away and hide. Will he be able to get around old Richard Murdoch there? The teacher, the father, the man. His daughters call him the man, the myth, and the legend, and daddy all wrapped up into one. Richard Murdoch right now still holding off Joe Strano. As Strano tucks back into line, he'll peek once again down to the inside, down here into corners number 1 and 2. Not going to be able to make anything happen with it as he gets right back behind the Adventure in Pixels 01 of Richard Murdoch. So as everybody has single filed themselves out here, Al, Doug Neal's back here. You see him in 14th. Everybody's single file. But Al, we're closing in. Just about 13 laps away here from the halfway point here tonight for the championship night presented by Victory Junction. Yeah, 4 drivers inside the top 5. 4 of them are your championship 4. Who has looked the best so far here tonight?
I would say who looked the best so far is probably, I would have to go with the 42 of Max Terrio. He took the race lead back over here after green flag pit stops and has stretched out his race advantage to 1.3 seconds. And I would say normally maybe he's pushing the car too hard, but I don't think that's really the case at the moment because, well, we know how crafty veterans he is out there, just kind of running his own pace. He does have one car between himself and the 18 of Peters, and that is the number 941 of Rob Higgins. So Higgins down 1 lap to your race leader, and right there in front of Max is the 3 of Tony Strano. The Victory Junction gang colors on the number 3 to work up off the corner. So, but can't count out Skelton. Remember, he had a lot of ground to make up, and he sits there near 4th position.
James Skelton right now is running 4th. He's got Tim Blum all over the back end of him, as Skelton seems to have a car that's good on a long run. We'll see if we get a long run. Al, you and I both know a lot of times here with the RB Custom Rig Scrambler series, when these guys get on a long run, they get on a long run. And this speedway here, corners wide enough to go 3, almost 4 wide racing. The problem is when it comes out of the corner, it really gets a little loose and it starts to funnel together. You know, in the long run, it gets the loose. On the short run, when you're tucked up underneath somebody, you get a little bit of an arrow push. So we'll have to watch for that. But these guys get strung out. We could go all 100 laps here tonight without a caution. We did it last week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, 90 laps of green flag racing.
Yeah, and that's what the RB Custom Race Scrambler Series is known for. Good, hard racing, but clean racing where there are a lot of green flag laps. And that is what these drivers love about racing here on a Monday night. This is the championship night, but right now, James Heater starting to close in underneath the 2nd now between himself and the 42 Max Terrio. Did Terrio use his tires, or did they just catch lap traffic at the wrong time?
Well, you know as I do, Max Terrio, that wily veteran, does like to play some games sometime. So he could possibly be sitting here just abiding his time. You never know what Max Terrio has up his sleeve. But right now it is Max Terrio out front here, leading the way with James Heater in 2nd, Sean Butler in 3rd. Tim Blum is in 4th. James Skelton is 5th, and as they run out there here on lap number 43, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back here to bring you more racing action for Championship Night, presented by Victory Junction.
Hi, my name is Matthew Hilliard. Because of camp, I no longer see my diagnosis as something to hide. Because of camp, I no longer consider myself or any other person with special needs as disabled. Rather, we are all the more enabled to exhibit strength and grace to inspire those around us to become the best versions of themselves. Because of donors like you, Victory Junction is always completely free to families. Visit victoryjunction.org/donate now.
Welcome back here to the Homestead Miami Speedway here tonight, championship night presented by Victory Junction. Nothing has changed out front. It is still Max Terrio. It is still James Heater. Sean Butler, Tim Blum. Now it's James Skelton. That's the only thing that has changed out on the speedway, as these two drivers have swapped the 4th and 5th spot here, as Blum is able to get around as they work through the lap traffic. There's the number 3. That is the Victory Junction sponsor, number 3 of Tony Strano, out of the Strano Brothers stable. And now there's damage to the right front of that Chevrolet.
There is right front damage to the frame of Strano, so hampering his proceeds here tonight as he works down the backstretch. Bill tucked in line behind the Skelton. And Skelton has fallen back to that 5th spot with that Northern Real Estate entry number 86. They work off turn number 4, chasing the 10 of Blum. But now Peter has gotten around Higgins and has set his sights on our race leader of Max Stereo as they work through turns 1 and 2. Underneath 0.8 of a second now, the difference between your top two.
On board here with James Heater with our Red Light Racing onboard camera. Heater right now has gained 2 positions here tonight at the virtual Miami Homestead Speedway as Heater runs P number 2 to the man that's up in Canada. Will he be able to get around him? These 2 drivers are 2 of the fiercest drivers. You don't hear much from James Heater on a week-to-week basis. He really likes to keep to himself and kind of run his own race. The Low Line Racing 18, one of the fiercest competitors, though. Another driver that kind of is just like him, that is Max Terrill. Both drivers have similar strategies when it comes race day. During the off week, like I said, they're very quiet on social media, but when it comes race night, they do all their talking with their cars. And now, that's kind of how it is. Just kind of man up, push the throttle down, and I'll see you at the finish line.
Yeah, there's no need to be a keyboard warrior or anything like that. These drivers like to come out here. They're fierce competitors, but they're even greater friends off of the racetrack. So there's not a lot. Well, we'll say there's a rivalry, but there's none that's out there that's pretty chippy right now. But I tell you, James Heater really starting to apply the pressure. Last time by, Theriot was a little bit slower, about 3/10 slow, or 3/100 slower than the 18 of Butler. Coming down pit road, John Butler pulling him off. He'll pit at lap 50.
Yeah, last time by it was James Skelton and Brandon Minto who came to pit road. No pit road penalties were handed down last time, as you see. That is Sean Single coming to pit road. Nathan Maurer. Here comes Doug Neal, and oh boy, Doug Neal was actually sideways there as our camera just panned out of that picture. Now back focused on the 977 of Doug Neal, the Simbox owner-operator. That car was all sorts of out of shape coming to pit road, and Neal was able. Here comes your race leader. Here comes Terry as he is sideways coming onto pit road. So was Tim Blum. Here was the only one that kept his machine kind of pointed square into the right direction. Everybody now coming to pit road. Pit road has opened the floodgates here at the halfway point. Your leader is Max Terriot, though, at the halfway home point.
Yeah, and Nathan Maurer leaving just as Terriot's making his left-hand turn. Almost contact with those 2 drivers. Is Blum also in? I think everybody saw how much ground was lost with pitting later than when the race leaders did. So Butler and Silva, all those guys that came in early, have forced the hands as Max down and away. Very efficient pit stop, a 14 flat for the 42's pit stop. So great pit stops there as they have really brought their A game. Terriot's going to be the first one off pit road. DJ Anderson still showing away over Zach Mitchell's and Wells in your 3rd spot.
Yeah, but here is the battle. This is the pit road battle. Here comes the 86 of Skelton as he storms down the back straightaway into 3. There is the 42 of Max Terriot to the inside, who will have the momentum out of turn number 4. Skelton will run that race back to the line, but that's not the battle for the race lead. That's just the battle for the championship 4. As you see, the 86 of Skelton pulls over. Max Terriot will go ahead and lead this group between himself, Skelton, Heater. There's Butler also. Blum has fallen a little bit off the pace here. He's about 3 seconds behind this group of 4 drivers who should be able to retain the race lead when this all starts to cycle through. DJ Anderson still out there. Zach Mitchell, the young man in the number 24 DuPont colors, he is sitting there in the 2nd position. Wells is currently running 3rd, and then it's this group. As there you see, it looks like the 86 is starting to back up here in the first stages of this run, maybe trying to save a little bit. Maybe they have discovered something where he sticks around and kind of just hangs around for about 10 laps of this run, and then he starts to really apply the pressure and pounce.
He really does. Now Butler, he's gotten around 86 of Skelton, so that'll put him back into what will eventually become our 4th position. But as Heater, remember, he was really starting to apply the pressure to the 42 of Max Stereo before the green flag pit stop number 2 happened, with his beautiful looking black and green number 18 as they race down into turn number 3. Heater might have brought something, maybe he hasn't shown all of his cards yet. He's just keeping everybody in check as he's right to the back bumper now, within 5 car lengths off turn number 4.
They're going to work up on a slower machine. That is the Hot Wheels Kevin O'Brien machine, the Australian behind the wheels of the Hot Wheels. And Al, think about that. Victory Junction on board here tonight. The famous Hot Wheels number 44 kind of plays into the realm here of the Victory Junction gang.
It really does. And that was one of my favorite paint schemes from the Petty Motorsports camp. There was that Hot Wheels, probably the most iconic schemes that they had, other than the good old STP. Is we got the looks at battle behind them. Here comes Peter to the outside, almost contact between himself and the 42. And Dario on the inside, side by side off turn number 2.
It looks like here comes that high line, though. The low line racer headed to the high line here. Here comes the 18 of James Heater. They will storm down the back straightaway. Heater has the nose advantage in his Toyota over the inside Ford machine. Which one of these 550 horsepower beasts will have it at the line? As you see one driver down to the inside, that is the 44, the Hot Wheels entry of Kevin O'Brien. He wants nothing to do with 2 of the championship drivers. He pulls out of the way. That's the gentleman's move there by the Australian. He'll funnel back into line, and then he'll let the 86 of James Skelton get right on by him. These 2 drivers are still locked side by side. Now it'll be that outside momentum for the 18 of Heater. Heater will now surpass Max Terriot, and that will put him into position number 4, but that is the top spot in the championship 4.
Yeah, right now, if Barney was to wave the checker flag, your champion would be the 18 of Heater, but there is still 42 laps to go here tonight in the Victory Junction game 150, and Heater showing how he is coming in. But maybe Max did that on purpose. We know how the crafty veteran he is. We keep talking about it. Maybe he took in to, all right, well, let's see what he's doing. Maybe I can learn to get myself a little bit better. Towards the end of this race here is now Wells going to relinquish his 3rd position as he comes to pit road here. So there's 2 drivers, Anderson and Mitchell, still out there on the racetrack to yet to come down pit road for a 2nd time.
Yeah, and they can't quite make it from here to the end of this race, so they will have to come down pit road to make at least one final stop here tonight at the virtual Homestead Miami Speedway for championship night, presented by the Victory Junction gang. Right now you see James Heater. He is going to get around Zach Mitchell. Mitchell is off the pace. He will bring the 924 DuPont Chevrolet to pit road. He will make his stop here with just 40 laps to go. But will it be enough? 40 laps would be a stretch. We've seen drivers go 33, 34 laps. We have not seen any driver, though, stretch it to 40. I think that's just a little too far out of the realm for these drivers. As you see, the number 2, the draft top entry, the driver out of Massachusetts, he'll go a lap down. He is a lap down, as these are actually, which will be the race leaders once DJ Anderson comes to pit road, but he is yet to give up that top spot. The 51 Anderson machine will continue on here. The driver out of Virginia. And Al, we talk about troubling times all around the country, all around the world. DJ Anderson, one of those drivers that is on the front line week in and week out. The Virginia driver, a police officer down there. So we got to thank Anderson, all the police, all the fire, all the EMS, the hospital workers that are tuning in here tonight. We thank you for everything that you just don't, not just on a day-to-day basis, but especially during this time, during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, keep those guys and their families in your thoughts. They are out there, they facing it every day. And, we tip our hat to them. And thank you for your service out there and keeping us, letting us do what we enjoy to do, which is race here on a Monday night and be able to talk about it up here in the booth, because they won't let us down there on the racetrack with them, Roger.
Yeah, that's funny that you said that. Last night, they actually sent me a message. They said, hey, Muth, we have a practice going on out here, as here does come DJ Anderson to pit road. They said, Muth, do you want to come out on the track? I said, I think I'll stick behind the microphone. You don't want me to come out there and try to make a left-hand turn because it's not too pretty. So as you see that 51 come to pit road, that's going to hand things back over to one of the championship drivers of James Heater, Max Terriot, the other championship hopeful. Sitting there in second, Sean Butler is third currently. Then there's about a 2-second gap right now back to James Skelton. And then right behind him is another one of those championship drivers. Blum is back there running in the 5th position. And this is starting to come down to the nitty-gritty now, Al. As we see Tim Blum getting around the 86 of James Skelton. That'll move now Tim Blum up into 4th. Skelton, we talked about him backing up here in the first stages of this run. Now finds himself, he was battling for the race lead. Now he's back into 5th.
Yeah, back there in the 5th position, but we are almost within 35 laps of the end of this one, where they can either split it into 2 sessions, or maybe they can split it in half here. Well, maybe one more pit stop. It all depends right now as they work through turns 3 and 4. Dario is just sitting back there, stalking Heater in your number 2 position, and then Butler in 3rd. But Plum and Skelton, they did work together to kind of get themselves drafted up here to the front of this one. But we have just worked at lap 65 next time by. 35 laps remaining in the season finale for the RB Custom Ridge Scrambler Series.
As you see Tim Blum start to work around some of that lap traffic out front, it is still James Heater, Max Terriot, who still run nose to tail here. The Toyota leading the Ford. Leading a Ford and a Toyota. So right now, which manufacturer will be able to take home a championship here? Heater has still been able to stay out front, and Al, you talked about it already. The wily veteran aspect for Max Terriot. I really think he's the wolf in sheep's clothing right now. He saw that James Heater was right there. So now, think about it. We've seen Max do this time and time again. He kind of sits there and rides into that 2nd, 3rd, 4th place and kind of sees who he's racing. Right now, he knows he's racing that 18. Could he dive to pit road first?
He could. He could be playing the cards first once they get inside their window to make it the rest of the way. But I also think we saw Heater was catching him at the end of the last run. And now Heater ran up, caught him here underneath this green flag run. So I think Max has really gone back to school, trying to figure out, all right, where is James better than I am? What is he doing that I'm not doing as well? And I think he's going to see what's happening there as we have a little one car up in the wall. That's the Ford Souza right there in front of your race leader. He'll stay clean and green, but the Ford Souza did kiss the outside retaining wall up off of turn number 4.
As he will stay high here. That is the Ford Souza, and then that will allow the 18. Look at the 51 come storming like a rocket ship underneath that 42 of Max Terriot. He'll dive to the inside here, the race leader down the back straightaway. That is DJ Anderson. Right now, Anderson is the man on a mission, as he was the last car to pit. So let's just take a gander at this. Last time by for DJ Anderson, it was a 31.8. Let's see what it is this time by at the line. Might be a little bit slower as he had to battle his way through. So yeah, it's a 32.11 that time. So a 31-second lap though. The previous lap for the 51 of DJ Anderson versus James Heater, who is the race leader right now, was a 33.3. That's a huge difference in tires.
Yeah, it's a very big difference, and we see how important tires are. So right now, if you're in this championship hunt, you kind of got to do monkey see, monkey do. Also, gotta be, if you're leading this group, you have to be paying attention. This time by, it'll be 30 lap, well, working lap 30 to go. Here's they put 69 into the books, working lap 70. So next time by 30 laps, I think that's what they could go. But you don't want to pit too early, Roger, just in case we do get that late yellow. But right now, everybody's clean and green. Hopefully they say that as Zach Mitchell really starting to thread the needle. He'll work the outside of the 42 of Dario, championship 4. You are trying to let these guys go that are on fresher tires, hoping that there's not a mistake that'll take you out with them.
That's right there. You do see Mitchell Hill unlap himself here. And, you know, as we are under the green flag conditions here, tonight is brought to us by Victory Junction. Race fans, we had a fundraiser going on. If you look in the description, if you're on YouTube, down below our video here, you will find the fundraiser. Right now, we are currently sitting at $755 raised that will go to the Victory Junction Gang group. Let's see, as I hit the refresh button, we're actually at $805 now. So we have gone up over $50 here since we've gone live tonight. But we do have some of those names here that we have to get through at this point. Drivers, family members, fans that have donated. Ryan O'Danny, Brandon Minto, Joe Strano, Jan Phillips, Bruce and Dorothy Potter, Lori Strano, Lauren and Eric Stout, Sean Butler, Michael Trevarthen, Daniel Tobin Jr., Travis Minto, Tim Combs, Brian Bianchi, the guys over at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, Rob Higgins, Ethan Troutman, Kelsey Forlich, Sean Single, and Jason Wells. All drivers, fans, family members that have donated. We got to thank you, race fans, from the bottom of all of our hearts with Red Light and Turn 3 and the Scrambler Series. Everybody, we thank you for donating. Keep the donations coming. If you follow the Red Light Racing page via Facebook here, as we still watch our race leaders here of Heater and Terrial, if you follow them, there is also another giveaway that is going on. If you donated your hat, your name will go into a hat, and that will be pulled here in the next couple of days for a prize. And now we are also throwing in from the Turn 3 Racing Network, we're throwing in a little bit of a fan appreciation bundle also for anybody that did donate into the fundraiser. We're giving away stickers, koozies, and a hat. We are going to also donate into that whole prize package. So a thank you, not only from Victory Junction and Red Light, a thank you from all of us also.
Yeah, we can't make it possible without them, and what the Victory Junction Gang does for kids that are having life-threatening diseases and illnesses, making them go down there for a week and let them be kids again. It's just amazing what they do. So if you can afford to do it, I know right now we're in some unprecedented times. As Max Terrio will take the inside and take over the race lead here on lap 74. But really think about, even if it's $1, that $1 is going to help some kid, that would not likely be able to go to a regular summer camp. They can go down there to be a kid for a week. As Max Terrio, looks like they're going to be coming down the pit road, so they're the first one down there. But yeah, just thank you to everybody. I'm glad to be a part of the drawing here. Hopefully everybody that donates, you'll have a chance to win all that. It's very good. We have 25 laps to go now, Roger.
And with 25 laps to go, racing for a championship, it'll be Max Terriel and Tim Blum. 2 out of the 4 championship drivers, they will come to pit road first. There you see the 42 hits his stall. Here comes the Classics Hot Sauce number 10. Heater will come down, or Blum will come down here and hit his stall. Next time by, we do expect to see the driver of the 18, as you do see him making the left-hand turn to pit road. The Low Line Racing Camry will come to pit road for the final time. And here comes the 86, the Elite Carolina Realtree machine of James Skelton. He will also come to pit road. Al, I'm noticing on the 86, front right damage to that Toyota.
Yeah, he got tight and got to the outside wall off of the corner there. There's a little bit of right front damage as he works around the 917 of Tim Combs as they're back out on the racetrack. So I'm curious to see, he spent a total time on pit road, 45:08 to, let's see where our race leader that came in, James Peter, he's already on and out with a 44.33, so a little bit better time getting on and off of pit road. But Thurio's going to go flashing by right now off the corner. It'll be a drag race down the backstretch for Thurio. Going to have at least a 5-car advantage as they get up to the gearbox.
So as we look back there, you do see that black shadow, green chromed out number 18. That is James Heater. Right now, Max Terriel is the race leader. Well, championship race leader, I should say. He's running 5th. Brandon Minto currently is our championship driver here, who is at the top spot with his Barstool Sports U.S. Air Force. Our hat has to go off to Brandon Minto, too, the U.S. Air Force man out there. I just was told now before we came live from Brandon Minto that he has actually done flying for a little bit. He will be restationed here in the next couple of months.
Well, thank you for his service as he comes down pit road trying to get to his pit crew. He'll service that one, but Max Terriel has now released the race lead back to the 51 of Anderson. Remember, Anderson last on pit road, lap 62. That was, I don't believe he can make it to the end of this one, but he got off sequence, gave himself a chance, and he enjoys 8-second lead over the 924 of Zach Mitchell.
Yeah, and then sitting back there into that fourth position, it's the driver out of Michigan. It is Ryan O'Donnell. He is sitting back here running in position number 3. We'll see if he can finish up here ahead of some of the championship hopeful. But there's the 42 of Max Terriot. So Ryan will be giving up that third position sooner than he would like. And then right behind them, that's James Heater. And Al, don't look now, but the 42 is a little bit slower than that 18.
Yeah, right now, Terriot kind of just methodically working his way through traffic. Had caught him a little bit at a bad position up off the corner. That's allowed the 18 of Heater to really catch up to him as they work by the 924. That is the 924 of Zach Mitchell. He's currently your third place driver on the racetrack. So as they work by him, then now we'll move back. So that will put Max Terriot in your number 2 spot, but he's got the 18 of Heater closing in on him. This is going to be a dogfight. The line will be 19 to go at the stripe.
19 to go, and DJ Anderson still our race leader here tonight. So as he leads us back across the line, he will be one of the final drivers to come to pit road. It looks like Mitchell also, like you said, still has to come to pit road. So 2 drivers, we are waiting for them to make their final pit stops here of the evening. We also have to thank Ed and Jill Single out there who also donated here to the fundraiser here for the Victory Junction Gang Group and Red Light Racing, RB Custom Rigs, everybody on board here tonight. We got to thank them for their donation also tonight, putting us up to that 855 marker. Looking at it right now. Max Terriot has started to open that up now, about a half a second over James Heater currently. Will he be able to hold on? There you see the 3 of Tony Strano. Strano right now, the Victory Junction number 3 Chevrolet. He is back there into the 17th position. Al, I don't know if we talked about it yet here tonight. As you see Tony Strano, he'll bring the Victory Junction number 3 to pit road. He'll be one of those final drivers to make pit stop here with 17 laps to go. It's not a matter of points accumulated here at the end of this race. It's who makes it to the start-finish line as the checkered flag flies first. First one to the finish line will be the winner here tonight. Doesn't matter how many laps you led, doesn't matter how many cars you've passed or where you started, or it matters where you finish tonight.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this one. You have to have a picture-perfect race here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. And right now is James Heater trying to chase down the 42 of Max Terriot. Terriot coming to pit road 1 lap sooner than James Heater had opened up a little bit of a gap. Right now, about a half a second between these two as a race down the backstretch chasing our race leader, the 51 of Anderson. Anderson will be having to come to pit road sooner than later. It might be coming this time as they work off of turn number 4. Terriot's going to flash by on the outside. New race leader at the line with just 15 laps to go.
15 laps to go. A championship driver goes to the point. That might be what it's going to take tonight. You might have to win this race, as it's Terriot and Heater who still now run nose to tail, just about a half second separating the front two of the championship drivers. There's a 5-second gap back to Tim Blum, who would be the 3rd place championship driver now. And then it's a second back till you find James Skelton. Those 2 drivers are running 5th and 6th currently, respectively, on the track here with just 15, now 14 laps to go as they come across the start-finish line. And I'm also just past another note, another donation coming in here. Pat O'Donnell has donated tonight. That's what put us to that 855 marker. We had missed her. We are sorry. We do thank you, though, Pat, for your donation tonight to the Victory Junction gang.
Yeah, we thank everybody out there that's donated, but this is starting to really turn the wick up at the front of this one. Heater is there 0.2 of a second behind the 42 of Terriot. Will 1 lap difference in tires make a difference? Here to go with 13 laps to go. A championship on the line. Heater right to the back bumper into turn number 1 with Terriot running that line off to turn number 2. He is there. It's a 2-dog fight at the front of this one, trying to settle who's going to win the championship.
Yeah, and there's not much gap separating those front two drivers. They are right there, right on board with Max Terrell. There you see James Heater. He kind of backs off on entry to try. Oh, Terrell into the wall there. You saw the sparks out of turn number 4. The Canadian trying to push the Mustang. Al, it doesn't look like there's much damage to that Ford.
No, just brushed off a little bit of the decals on the right side of that Ford Mustang as he's driving it for all he's worth. We asked earlier, was he saving anything? I don't think he is. Running on the ragged edge with 12 laps to go. 12 laps from becoming a champion once again in the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series. This means a lot to these drivers. Once again, he's up the racetrack. Peter able to hold it a little bit lower off the turn number 4. 11 laps to go. And now Heater's going to dive it in on the outside of Theriot into turn number 1.
Can he find a little bit of speed on the outside? He has found some speed up there before. Remember, that's how he took the race lead about 30 laps ago before the pit stops. Now, as we come to get the 10 to go marker, will he go to the outside here in 3 and 4 once again to try and get some momentum? He will not. He will try to run about a lane lower than the 42. Will that get him the momentum? This time by, it's the double high five. 10 laps to go here at Homestead for a championship tonight, presented by Victory Junction.
Right, and Heater now getting some fresh air on the front of nose of that Toyota. Down the back stretch, within half a car length of the back bumper. They're coming up on the 71 of Nate Maurer. Maurer, the last car on the lead lap, runs in your 15th position. Is right in front of your race leaders up off of turn number 4. That time, the 42 able to squirt a little bit ahead of Heater. Heater tried something a little bit different with just 9 laps to go.
Go on board once again with your race leader. This is what it looks like off the roof camera here for the 42 of Max Terrell. Back to the low line racing Camry. Currently, this is the championship battle. The other two, 5 seconds, over 5 seconds behind these front two. These two drivers would like to see this go green to the end, so it could just be mano y mano right now. Two of the veterans, two of the most, we're going to call them honorable drivers in the series. Now battling for a championship, 8 laps to go. And right now, out in front of them, it's just one driver. That's the 977 of Doug Neal. Then they have a lot of space to go out and battle. When it'll be 7 to go this time by.
That time the 18 really got a good drive up off of turn number 2 as he looks at the back of the side of that 42 at Theriot, able to let it off early, getting the car to rotate. He's able to keep that 18 a little bit lower up off the corner. You get a good drive off the corner, so you wonder, is he taking air off the back side of that 42, keeping it tucked up there within a half a car length. He'll dive to the outside once again, trying to find the momentum on the outside.
Not going to happen as we go high above the speedway here tonight. Our blimp camera by the guys over at Victory Junction. This is the blimp camera. Look at them as they go down the back straightaway. You see the 42 has about a 2, almost 3 car lengths lead. We'll see if that starts to shrink here, because this time by 6 laps to go. The laps are going to go quick here. These guys do not have to pit anymore here tonight. DJ Anderson making his final stop. He'll come out of pit road. There you see him, the pedigree number 51, down and away. His final stop of the night, but he does go a lap down to the race leaders. Just next time by, Al, it's those 5 fingers will be in the air.
It'll be the high five from the chief flagger and mission control director of traffic of Barney the flagman up here on the stereo, really trying to take the air off the front of the 18. The 18 with a good drive once again up off turn number 4, excuse me. He almost got to the inside of him down here in the turn number 1 with just 5 laps to go. It is just 7 miles left of racing, Roger, to work up off turn number 4. Heater right there, ready to make a move, but when is too soon or when is going to be too late?
Al, I like how you had to count there. I watched the camera. You took your shoes off to count the 7. I don't know why you took your shoes off to count the 7, but I can tell you it's going to be 4 laps this time by, and the question to you is going to be, it's not a short track, but it's a championship that's laying out there, dangling just out in front of these two drivers. We've been fixated on them. Do you see a chrome horn coming here tonight for a championship?
I don't know. These two drivers do have a lot of respect, but I mean, it's a championship. I think if you get to them possibly give them the business on the white flag lap. Not enough to wreck them. I don't think you'll see a wreck for the championship, but I think you might see someone try to move someone up the racetrack, possibly. With just 3 laps to go. Heater is there, stalking Theriot like a lion in the grass.
We'll find out. Look at James Heater. He runs a little bit higher down here. It looks like, oh, he just can't get the car to quite rotate in the center of the corner. We'll see if it has the speed off. It didn't look like it rotated that time down there in turns 1 and 2 as well as he thought it would. There you see the gap, about 2 car lengths as they enter turn number 3. Max Theriot still leading the way here. Who will lead at the final lap here of the finale presented by Victory Junction for the championship here tonight? It's the famous popsicle sticks go in the air. 2 laps to go here.
2 laps to go. Heater going to try to work the outside once again, this time keeping a little bit lower of a lineup off turn number 2, about 0.2 of a second. Now he'll gain some time back down the backstretch. It'll be almost the penultimate time through turns 3 and 4.
As they work down into 3 and 4 here. They'll have to come back down to this end of the speedway one more time, but it will be out of turn 4 as they see the white flag. It is 1 lap to go, presented by Checkered Flag Auto Supply.
There has to be picture perfect through turns 1 and 2. Heater with a nice run through turns 1 and 2. He is within a half a car length off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch, he'll draw even to the back bumper. Will he send it in there hard in the turn 3? He does not. He backs it off, trying to get a nice run off of turn number 4. I don't think it's going to happen. This time off 4. Checkered is up. It'll be Max Theriot picking up the win and the championship here tonight in the Victory Junction Gang 150.
It will be James Heater coming home in second. Sean Butler is third. Then it's going to be the number 10 of Tim Blum. James Skelton is fifth. Corey Silva comes across in sixth. Seventh will then go to the driver of the 31 of Michael Trevarthen. The 43 of Joe Strano is eighth. Ninth goes to Richard Murdoch. Tim Combs will come out of turn 4. He will round out our top 10. Then it's Brandon Minto and Ethan Troutman. Those will round out the drivers on the lead lap, but it is all the 42 winning a championship here. The left-hand side of your screen, race fans, the unofficial results here tonight for the Victory Junction Championship night here from the virtual Miami Homestead Speedway. Everybody pulling up, congratulating the driver of the 42. Here comes Tim Blum. He was one of those drivers that was fighting for that championship. Not gonna make it. He comes up just a little bit short. Max will go down here, pass by the stands, and he will turn it around and come back here to salute all the race fans that are tuning in here tonight. Al, another great race, though, by the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series. These guys do it back-to-back. The final 2 weeks of the season, green to checkered.
Green to checkered. You can't ask for anything better than that. And what a barn in front of their Heater. Almost close enough to try to do the chrome horn move. Couldn't quite get it done in the turn number 3. Ran them clean. That's a very respectful way to run your competitors. I don't think anybody wants to win a championship that way, as Max Theriot pulls it down here on the front stretch, getting ready to burn it down, as he will do so. But Max Theriot going to pick up the win, and probably was one of his most dominating seasons to date here in the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series.
So as he burns them down, race fans, we will take a quick break as he's going to just lay it up against the fence here and burn them down. He doesn't need the car anymore. He doesn't need the tires, the motor. He doesn't need any of it. The season is over. He's the champion. Don't go anywhere, as our post-race show here tonight will be brought to us by Renaissance Nutrition. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back here with your post-race interviews and your champion, Max Theriot.
My name is Matthew Hilliard, and I had the opportunity to be a camper at Victory Junction from the years 2008 to 2016, and the privilege of coming back to serve on summer staff since the summer of 2019. Victory Junction provides empowering experiences to kids with chronic medical conditions and serious illnesses through year-round programming like summer camp, family weekends, and pediatric hospital outreach. Victory Junction changes the lives of kids like me. Please consider making a gift today.
For children living with serious medical conditions, Victory Junction means a break from treatments, procedures, and hospital stays. That's because we provide life-changing camp experiences in medically safe environments where these kids can laugh, play, and discover all they can be. Victory Junction inspires confidence, builds self-esteem, and changes the lives of the children we serve, all at no cost to their families. Find out how you can help at victoryjunction.org.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Homestead Miami Speedway. There you see him down there on the front straightaway. That's your champion of Max Serial. He's still celebrating. He's debriefing with his team. So while he debriefs with his team, let's talk to the driver who finished third here tonight. It's the driver of the Trust Me Vodka 88, is Sean Butler. Sean, not battling for the championship this season, but it was still a good year nonetheless, and a good, strong finish here at Homestead. Just trying to gather a win here at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long shot win. I knew I couldn't beat Max. He's been so good at this track. I haven't been able to beat him here in a while. So, congrats to Max on winning that championship. It was a great view. I was sitting there and Heater was right on him. I was waiting to see if Heater was going to do something, but I don't know. It's great job by him and Max running up front and just pulling away from everybody. Just kind of running my own race. It seemed like by midpoint I was just kind of running by myself away from everybody. So good solid race for the Gen X Trust Me Vodka car, and looking forward to next season.
Yeah, next season. I was passed along the schedule a little bit earlier. I don't know if you've seen it, but give me a track where you think this 88 can come back next year to dominate.
Yeah, it's hard to say with this. Who's gonna know what's iRacing gonna do with the next build and everything. I feel like we go anywhere and we can win. It's just not having any mistakes like I did a couple weeks ago at Atlanta, and I've had many mistakes this year. So I don't know, just driving mistake free and trying to be up there in front and hopefully get more than a couple wins next year. Trying to keep pace with Max.
Yeah, Max will now notch himself. It is official. The car did pass technical inspection, so Max will be our champion here. He's starting to run down that bar that you set a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, I mean he's definitely turned it on, and with this package and everything, he seems to do really good. Whatever iRacing's doing right now, he's got it figured out. We keep the tires on it, and this is one of my worst tracks for long run longevity, so I was kind of shocked that I was better than my teammate Skelton. We kind of seemed to be almost even in practices we were doing, and kind of shocked that he finished way back where he did. But congrats to him for making the top four. And wasn't the night he was hoped for, but hopefully we can come out next season and get some wins, and I won't be racing for a championship next year, but hopefully he can.
Well, Sean, a good season for you nonetheless. You will finish 5th in that championship hunt here. Who made it all possible all season long on this 88?
Oh, of course, all the admins over here at Red Light, you guys up here in the booth calling these good races, and all these drivers showing up. I mean, usually we don't get this many people in a finale, and having 26 cars out here for a finale is great. Look forward to hopefully we get some more consistency like we've had this year with the drivers with the next season coming up, and we'll see what the Gen X Trust Me Vodka can do next season with a little bit different setups.
Well, there you heard it from the driver of the 88 out of Junction City, Ohio. Sean Butler will finish tonight in P number 3. Coming home in second position, Al, I believe, should be the driver of the 18. He also finishes second in the championship hunt. It doesn't look like we have him, though. That is James Heater.
Yeah, James Heater had a great season. Going to come up one spot shy of the championship, but had a great race, was really pressuring. What a great season overall for the driver of the low-line racing, number 18. But Roger, I believe you have caught up with the man down on the front stretch, getting ready to celebrate here once again.
Yeah, he is celebrating, and I think he's going to celebrate this one a little long into the night and possibly, well, even into next season. Max Terriel, you are the champion here on Monday night for the RV Custom Rig Scrambler Series. How does it feel to be back on top of, well, you win on the podium, and everybody's chasing you for a championship starting next year already?
That was my best season ever. I mean, I don't know if it was the choice of tracks that fit in my driving style, but 6 wins, I never even came close to that before. And with the competition that's here with James, Sean, Tim, James, Michael, Richard, and all those guys, I'll celebrate for that one. And I mean, I've got a month ahead to prepare for next season, so it'll be a fun month to enjoy this win and this championship.
Well, that championship's going to live on. But now, this whole season, 6 wins, another great season for you. Your championship hunt isn't quite over, Max. Yeah, you may have parked it in victory lane here tonight, gathering up the Monday night championship, but you're locked in a fierce battle also on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's a whole different battle. It's close racing on the racetrack every week. Those short track racing with the SK Modifieds. It brings out another roster of competitors, and next week or this week we're going to North Wilkesboro, which I'm looking forward to. Last time I was there, it didn't go quite well, so I want to make it up for that poor finish back then. And later on this year, going to the new Nashville Fairgrounds. That'll help for Monday night racing also, because later on we're going there, I think, with the 87 cars. So those are 2 tracks that I'm looking forward to running the modifieds for now.
Well, all that seat time will be able to translate back into Monday night. We have seen it work time and time again for you, Max, but I know you want to go and celebrate, and we got to say congratulations once again to you, but we're going to step back. We're going to roll this red carpet out for you. I know it's been a long time since we did it. We're going to hand you the microphone, and who do you got to thank for an amazing year, setting the bar at 6 wins?
First of all, I'll take my crew, which are my girlfriend, my friend Max at Maxim Knitting, and my dad, the regular viewers of Current 3 Network, for the great show that you, Roger, and Al put on every Monday nights. The views keep going up, and I'm sure they appreciate the show. Richard, James, and Joshua for adminning this Scrambler series. We've had a few sponsors this year, so RB Custom Rigs with Checkered Flag Auto Supply for this last race, Victory Junction Camp. I know there's still time to donate, I think, so if you didn't yet, go ahead. And also the Scene Vault. I mean, if you guys like the DJ download, Dale Jr. download podcasts, go listen to those Scene Vault podcasts also. It's very fun to listen to the point of view from drivers, crew chiefs, owners from the past years of NASCAR. So, and this championship, it's very worthy for me because most of the competition here on Monday night, every season, seems like everybody brings their A game, and then some. We've had some drivers come through the field this season. I can think of Joe with his new equipment. Thanks to you, he made a big improvement overall. I think Richard winning a couple of races, and it was fun to see Jason Wells back this season on a regular basis. And a shout out to Ryan. I think he'll get a win next season on the road course. That's his time to win.
Well, there you hear it from the champion, Max Terriel. The driver out of Canada will win a championship here at Homestead on the night that the Victory Junction Group sponsors this championship night. But there you have it, your Renaissance Nutrition post-race show here tonight, the final post-race show of the season. But we have great news, race fans. Renaissance Nutrition will be back next year as our post-race sponsor. We got to thank them for everything they do. And 6 generations, Al, it's the thing that sticks into my mind every time we talk about Renaissance Nutrition. 6 generations heading that company out there. That's absolutely unheard of anymore.
Yeah, and it's good to hear that they're coming back, and I know there are some opportunities to get on board with the RV Custom Rigs Red Light Scrambler series, but they are going quick. So if you are interested in becoming a supporter of them, get in touch with Josh Buckley. But good to hear that they're coming back, and a slew of other sponsors as well coming. The news will be coming out sooner than later. So if you want to be part of that news, head on over to the Red Light Racing Series on Facebook and send Josh Buckley a message, and he'll get you all set up there to help them out. But what a great season. What a great night of racing. It came down to, Roger, it being a season where you had to win on the final night to become the champion.
Yeah, what a great race it was as we bring you back in live here into our studios here tonight. Al over there from New York, bringing us the racing action from up there, myself down here in Pennsylvania. It was one of those races. We kind of thought that's how it was really going to play out here tonight coming into Homestead. It was a track you were going to have to win at to really, lock yourself into a championship. And that's what Max was able to really do. Put himself in that position for the championship. He did it. He outlasted 3 other of the best drivers in Red Light. I mean, the field, 26 strong coming into the night. So it wasn't just like 10 guys were out there rolling around. The top 4 kind of rolled or ran away from everybody. These guys really had to battle for this championship right down to the last lap.
Yeah, and we saw, Heater did not let Max off the hook easy. Early on in this race, when we saw Max, jump out to that early race lead, Roger, I really thought, well, these guys are in a lot of trouble. Once Max gets that lead, he does not like to let it go. And, well, we saw Heater. He drove him down, passed him, and it was there at the end of this one, I think within maybe another lap or so. Just did not quite have enough car to make a move to get by for the championship. But what a great season overall. And, Max winning the championship, that's not the only winner here tonight either. How about the money raised for the Victory Junction gang that these guys have done? Congratulations. I mean, I'm going to give a round of applause to everybody that has taken and donated, because that is such a great thing. Almost $1,000, going to the Victory Junction gang. That's going to help them out in so many different ways. It's just a great thing that we were able to do here. And, if you've donated, you get a chance to win a nice, cool, a nice prize package, but also you get to go to bed at night knowing that you're helping, the Victory Junction game and someone go down to camp that would maybe not have the opportunity to go down there.
Yeah, we got to thank this whole list and some donations that came in. We did just drop the link to the fundraiser, race fans, if you're still interested to help send a child to camp to live a dream that they, really wouldn't be able to. Not only would we appreciate it, Al, I know you donate yearly to the Victory Junction group and everybody over at Red Light that has really helped out. It's a community of racing. Victory Junction built off Adam Petty's legacy that he had in racing and all the visions that he had. It's all coming. Adam is putting that all to the forefront now for all these children. So we thank you for not just helping us out. We thank you for helping them out and let them live a weekend into almost a motorsports, because it's all themed around racing down there. And that's probably some of the coolest things. I wish I could get to go. Maybe one day, maybe we can get the whole Turn 3 group together and we can donate a weekend to the Victory Junction gang.
Yeah, absolutely. And they go down there. There's no cost to the family at all. So it's the family, these kids that have these illnesses that can't go to a regular summer camp in your local hometown or local region. This is, part of a big group of camps that are around the country that do this and around the world. But you can take and get down there. They have their treatment when they need it, if they need it. But they can also just go down there and be a normal kid. Everybody that's around them, they don't see, that they're a little less fortunate or have stuff going on with them. They go down there, they have a great time. So I am a proud supporter of the Victory Junction gang, and I'm very proud that we're able to raise the amount of money that we have been able to, not only just tonight, but overall for the camp down there.
And Al, I'm being passed along another note here from our stat guy, little man. Little man just passed me a note here. Happy birthday, Al.
Oh, well, thank you. It's not quite there yet. We got about another 2.5 hours, but I'll take an early one. Thank you.
We also have a couple more names here we have to shout out. We have to shout out Sean Single. We also have to shout out Joshua Buckley. 2 birthdays here. Josh's was just yesterday. Sean's is today. Yours is tomorrow. So it's a birthday, extravaganza. And race fans, if it's your birthday, we do wish you a happy birthday also. But Al, it's the end of the year. We have a champion already here in the 42 of Max Terriol, the Canadian, winning his championship here. He'll go for another one on Thursday night. But I mean, we gotta thank everybody who made this possible. RB Custom Rigs, race fans, you need a rig like what I have. It's actually right back there. You need to contact Rick Bell over at RB Custom Rigs. He can build it from mild to wild and anything in between that you need. We also got to thank the guys over at the Green Forest Tree Supply for stepping up and being the starting grid sponsor here on Monday night. We also got to thank the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. They're a Thursday night sponsor and a Monday night sponsor. They really love all the racing action virtually here from the Miami Homestead Speedway and anywhere else that we go in between Daytona all the way to Eldora. We have seen it all on Monday night, and we can't wait to do it again next year. And Renaissance Nutrition coming on board. But tonight, it was all about the guys over at Victory Junction. We thank them for coming on board here, and we can't wait to see what we can possibly do in the future with them. And race fans, it is all about you. You're the ones who have donated $855. I'll refresh it once again here real quick before we go off the air. We're still at $855. Get your donations in here and help a child live a dream going to camp themed around what we love, which is racing. So for Al Smith, I'm Roger Muth, the whole gang over at Victory Junction, Red Light Racing, RB Custom Rigs, Green Tree Forest Supply, Checkered Flag Auto Supply, and of course, the guys over at Renaissance Nutrition. We hope to see you just next season, race fans. Until we see you.